So tariffs, I got to talk a little bit about tariffs here. Also because I spent 5 minutes swooning over a gold ratchet. This is some news from the Trump administration. And by the way, I'll tell you here in a bit how a dealership has already figured out how to leverage the tariffs to sell you more cars, but for more money and make you think you're getting a deal. Isn't it amazing how dealerships do that? They come up with these amazing ideas. You know, they say every time a car dealer dies, an angel gets their wings. Yeah, this proves it. So we'll get to that. But let's talk about the basics here of the tariffs, okay? So a few weeks ago, I talked about the tariffs in general. I focused, and you can listen to this show on the podcast, I focused in depth on how many cars are really made in the United States and what percentage of those cars have American-made parts. And it would surprise you to know that, well, the Tesla Model 3, the Model Ys, all of those are very American, both in terms of where they're manufactured and where the parts come from that they're manufactured with. That is a big component of it, the supply chain. Followed up by, the Honda Pilot or whatever? Something like that. And then the Honda Odyssey? Yeah, Honda is making the most American car in the U.S. And of course, the Ford F-150 Lightning, the EV one's like the 50th most American car. The regular F-150 is like 57th most American. Look, Mexico imports 3 million cars a year into the United States. And when was the last time you saw a car driving around from a Mexican car company? Think about it that way. Let that sink in. The news, though, this is different now. This is more than the general tariffs I was talking about. Last Wednesday, President Trump has signed an executive order that will impose a 25% tariff on all automotive imports into the United States. And this is actually pretty big. I mean, typically you're going to direct a tariff at a country that you want to change some behavior on, right? But here's the thing. This affects everyone. I mean, this affects all of the cars, not just the ones made in Mexico coming over here. I'm talking to you, Ford and Chevy and Dodge. This affects Hyundai, Kia. This affects your Japanese cars, your Toyotas, some of your Hondas, mostly your Toyotas. Toyota still makes a good number of cars in Japan. It's typically their trucks. You will find that the new Tacomas, the new Tundras are made in Mexico. And there's a whole history behind the chicken tax, essentially a tariff that has been in place for like more than 50 years now. And that's why that we don't get that. That's the entire reason we don't get the Hilux, the Toyota pickup for the rest of the world. We get the Tacoma, different truck, different market, was made in Texas for, a long time. Mine was made in Texas. Now they're made in Mexico. We'll probably see that change, by the way. So this 25% tariff, though, I'll read a quote here. This comes by way of the Daily Wire, quoting President Trump. He says, what we're going to be doing is a 25% tariff on all cars that are not made in the United States. If they are made in the United States, there is absolutely no tariff. And his reasoning for this is to bring back, he says his reasoning is to bring back American manufacturing. Now, what does this mean for the car buyer? And there's a little bit of an aspect. I was thinking about this after the other show where I discussed tariffs, and I didn't quite make this point, and I think it's a worthy point of making. I support bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. I absolutely do. Why are the most American car companies that at least come to mind, the big three, why are they all made in Mexico? We need to change that. The other thing, though, is that if you increase, let me put it this way, if you increase tariffs on stuff costs more. The idea with the tariffs is that we bring more jobs back because we make more stuff here. Therefore, more people have more jobs and have more money, even though the goods cost more. But I think there's going to be more to that. I said at the end of the show a few weeks ago, we need to see if the American public will really bear the burden of this. And I think one thing that would help bear that burden is a reduction in taxes elsewhere. Okay, if you just keep throwing these tariffs on, well, that's coming out of your pocket. That's coming out of my pocket. That's coming out of all of our pockets, even for parts. Not even if you're buying a new car. That's even if you're repairing your car. As a guy like me who likes JDM cars, as a guy like Jim Miller, by the way, for example, which, by the way, he is running for city council. Got to get those ballots in before April 1st. Anyway, he's a big JDM guy. This is going to affect us too. But in theory, we should see a big enough break in taxes in other places that impact isn't directly affecting us. That's the theory. That's what I want to see. I want to see at the end of the day, the actual money you have left over shouldn't be affected, and it actually should be greater than it is now. I would say that would be an ideal scenario. Are we going to see that ideal scenario? I don't know. That's a good question. We're gonna find out. We are going to find out. By the way, according to the Daily Wire here's a stat for you. About 45% of vehicles sold in the United States annually are sourced from foreign countries. And that, of course, varies by brand, they say. But they say that car makers such as Volkswagen, BMW, Toyota are expected to be hit much harder than companies such as Tesla. Tesla manufactures a huge amount of vehicles here in the U.S. We know they do. They do it with American parts, too. Not all American parts. Tesla is going to be impacted by this. They don't get every single part from the U.S., but they're probably going to be impacted least by it. Now, Hyundai did announce in response to this that it planned to invest $20 billion in building its manufacturing capacity in the United States. That's already the action that the administration wants to see with the tariffs. That's exactly what they're wanting to see because, well, now instead of building all of these cars in Korea, we're going to build them here. We're going to employ American people. That's good. How long will it take to get this up and running, though? How long? What is the administration going to do to ease that burden on the rest of us while this is happening? And I want to see this be successful. I want to see this be successful, both for your sake, for my sake, all of that. And there's a couple of things that I think are going to happen, though, with the tariffs, especially in the short term right now. Oh, by the way, I have another stat here, too, in my notes. 2.3 million vehicles sold by Toyota in the United States last year. Roughly 1 million of those were built elsewhere, so Japan or wherever. Not all Toyotas are built in Japan, even if they're not built here in the U.S. Toyota Supra, I believe, is made in Austria. It's a BMW Supra. I digress. So anyway, that means 1.3 million vehicles are at least built in the U.S. At least built in the U.S. But I think I've got a couple of predictions here. I think the prices obviously are going to go up. They're obviously going to go up. We're going to see an increase in new car prices. We're going to see an increase in parts prices. Here's the thing, though. I think used car demand is going to increase as well. And as a result, used car supply is going to fall. There's going to be less supply because there's more demand. And that's also going to jack up the prices of used cars. So if you're saying, I'm going to avoid all of the price increases, I'm just going to go on Craigslist and buy a used car. That might work for like 3 or 4 days, but it's going to change. So anyway, there's a car dealership, by the way, who's figured out how to game the system already. Leave it up to those dealers. We're going to talk about that and more after the break.